straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
Everything Noob podcast, episode 134. I am Vortak, joined as always by Miss Jemmy, Mr. Dreadlow. How's it going?
It's going good.
I feel dirty and shameful.
Why?
So many 5-hour energies and late nights this weekend. That pre-release, I poop socked it.
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing a ton of Ark, and if you didn't gather, we are gamers and streamers and podcasters of sorts, and this week we're bringing you a gaming podcast all about E3's wrap-up and a couple other gaming news items as well. We're also going to talk about the game of the week and things of that nature. So, yeah, we've already started talking about what we've been playing. So let's continue down this road for a second, and then we'll jump into some E3 stuff. So, how is the Final Fantasy? What is it? A DLC expansion?
It's the first expansion pack. It added a new race of playable characters, 3 new jobs to the whole system, and at least 50, 60 hours of main story quest to do.
Wow.
And 10 extra levels to earn on top of it. So the new level cap is 60. Now that's just the highlights of if you were just going to run down the exciting quote unquote stuff they added. So I'm loving it. And then the flying mounts. Now it is really satisfying to fly. I've never played an MMO that actually had flying in it, so this is the first time I get to experience that, and it's
so WoW decided to remove flying, and
did they really? What?
Well,
what?
From further expansions, no expansions after. Basically, any expansion from here on out will not have flying.
Why?
You could still fly within the zones that they created flying for, but here on out, no more flying. I don't know why.
Is it no more flying on launch or no more flying period?
No.
I can understand how originally they'd be like, you know what, after that expansion, and the next expansion after it, we'll add flying in just so people can quickly get through it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because they want people to look at the world like you're supposed to look at it, rather than immediately learn how to fly and then fly around and not be able to see any of the scenery that they put a lot of work into.
Yeah. Oh, right now they have these EXP buffs and all this stuff, and they have nerfed all that or turned it off for the new expansion pack in 14 because they want you to experience it the way it's supposed to be made, and then it is all getting back turned on. So the way that 14 has handled it, you pretty much have to stomp over that whole zone before you can fly in it. And it's only one particular area you can fly in. So you have to pretty much conquer the area before you can fly in it.
Ah.
And it's only the new content right now.
So an incentive to
yes.
to do everything. Yeah, that's good.
It's also it's quests as well as stomping around and uncovering the map.
I haven't played really any MMOs in a while since I got off WoW again.
Yeah.
I'm out of the loop on that.
What's a quest?
Questing? Is that where you just build something?
Is that real?
Do you tame a dinosaur? Is that a quest?
Actually, they added these T-Rex monsters, and those things will jump and rape you literally because they will chomp and they UFC kick you. It's amazing. I know that was a poor choice of words, but seriously, one bite and you're dead. It was insane. Because we were like, oh, here's a T-Rex. Let's take it as a group.
Nope.
We didn't. I don't even know if we lasted 5 seconds.
Wow.
It's it was brutal.
Well, I've been playing Ark along with a handful of other friends of ours, and man, a lot of fun. They did a bang-up job. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I have been. But
yeah, now that they've done a little bit of optimization, I'd say, because I've been able to get into it just fine now. But,
I've been
when
excited
I first got
about Ark. When I look
terrible.
at it, every time I'm like, ooh.
You should be excited because it's awesome.
And you can fly.
And you can fly. If you can catch it, you can ride it. Unless it's
Yeah,
a little
basically.
dodo
How
or
would I
something.
catch a flying mount, though? Explain that to me.
I haven't actually caught or seen one caught, but I know that
Okay,
it's
so-
possible.
You have to knock it out, and then you give it the nectar berries.
I've seen them like tamed. I just haven't seen anyone actually like
Mm-hmm.
do the process of catching it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There's trank arrows. I think you use those to like shoot it out of the sky, and then it'll fall down unconscious, and then you can tame it.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I just get the highlights of that game, but everything I hear is exciting, and the pictures I've seen are really exciting. Can you use like any weapon? Is it just kind of open like that, or?
You can. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Minecraft in that sense, where you can just craft any weapon as long as your level allows for it. You can craft it.
Okay.
Or someone could just hand you a nicer weapon if you can't craft it yourself, and you can go ahead and use that to do whatever you need to do.
So there's no lock-ins with that. It's pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what the only big lock-in I've seen is that you have these engram points, and that's how you earn your crafting recipes. So you level up. You can choose a stat to level up on that time. You get like 10 points towards it. And then you go into this menu where you can choose what crafting recipes you want to unlock, engrams.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you'll max level, you'll run out of engram points, but you won't have everything. So you want to kind of coordinate with your tribe. Okay, you're going to be our farmer. You're going to be our builder. You know, and there's
Okay,
enough
so
points
you
to go
can
around.
specialize, but
Yeah. There's enough points to go
Okay.
around so everyone can do multiple things, but you can't do everything.
I kind of like that system though.
Yeah.
It forces an economy.
Yeah, and I think I've always struggled to create some kind of economy in Minecraft and on our big Minecraft server, and I think that's the key. I think having people need something is the key. You can choose whatever item you want as your currency and go through, setting up sign shops all you want, but in the end, anyone can do anything in Minecraft, and that's what's limiting an economy from being successful. But in this game, I think it's going to be a little bit different.
Well, in Minecraft they had that RPG mod or whatever,
Yeah.
and the only thing is it wasn't lockable. You could learn everything if you wanted to, and like you said,
if you could modify it where you can only like have so many levels,
right,
and or you pick
that
which
would work.
where they
But
go.
I noticed a lot of games are kind of going that direction.
Completely open.
No. With the limited skill points, so that you can't basically learn everything, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to multiplayer, and that seems to kind of work out a little bit more. It's kind of their way of making classes.
Yeah.
I guess, like, going back to the old MMO days of RuneScape, what I found is that you could do anything in that game. Anything you want to put your time towards, you can level up. It doesn't limit you. But the amount of time it takes to specialize in that skill is so long that you're better off just focusing on one thing at a time. So there's still a need for an economy. Even though you can make certain items, it's better to just buy it because you don't have that skill leveled up.
Because
Yeah.
it's going to take 700 hours to level it.
Exactly. So
And
Minecraft
that's
doesn't-
like on the apprehensive minimum side too, right?
Yeah. Minecraft, though, you can do anything. So yeah, this game is right in the middle, and or I guess more towards Minecraft, honestly. But it's awesome. Like, you're right. There's no real currency item yet, but there's definitely a need to trade. There's 2 different tribes on our server right now, which is like semi-private, and we've been kind of trading. Well, we will probably end up trading back and forth. Right now, they kind of leveled up way ahead of us, so they've been helping us out with getting some saddles for our dinosaurs and stuff like that. But eventually, we'll probably return the favor.
You're on the same one that Weem's on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to get me in there.
Is there
Yeah.
like different? Can you put like armor and stuff on your dinosaurs?
Not armor, maybe not yet.
It's just like if I could put costumes on them, that would be like even better.
They have
actually,
saddles.
there is a skin you can put on the saddle, and they give you different ones. Like right now, people are putting glasses on their dinosaurs. That's just a skin you can add to the saddle that puts little glasses on them.
Oh
That's
man,
so
it's funny.
adorable.
Yeah.
There are rare dinosaurs in there too. That if you get one of those, it's like a novelty thing to have it. Like an albino T-Rex. So people are in there trying to collect those rarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh god, no. See, I get caught up in like collecting the rarities, and that would. Oh, I would. I already have no life. I don't need less of one. look, look at my albino. Velociraptor.
They got
So
they got
amazing.
one that I saw one that was like, it was one of those. It's like there's a lot of them. It's a little bit bigger than the raptor ones, but I can't think of the name because they don't actually give them. I don't think they give them actual dinosaur names. They got some other names for them, but it was spotted. It really looked cool. I want one of those.
There's different like dinosaur skin, basically. Like you can just get a dinosaur that has like really cool looking scales.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Scales.
Yeah. It's
Is it? Yeah, I don't think dinosaurs had skin. I think it was scales and feathers.
yeah. It whatever you want to call it.
But
I don't know. I don't know the rules. I don't really hang
I
out
don't
with a lot of
know.
dinosaurs in
I
real
was
life.
there.
you never
so-
went
I
to
was
like
there.
a dinosaur museum when you were little?
No.
What?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
That's
They
Who
got the
didn't?
same.
How do you go to elementary
all
school
the
and not get-
dinosaurs look
that's
the
the
same.
only part. That's the only part of the museum
They all look like
anybody ever
elephants,
cared
okay?
about.
Yeah, how do you
They
go?
all look like elephants.
I don't know how to go to a museum and or I'm sorry, go to elementary school and not get dragged to a dinosaur museum of some kind. So, anyway, that's what we've been playing. We've got some Ark, got some other stuff going on. I want to talk about E3 though. There's a whole bunch of highlights. There's I couldn't keep up with it, but I have to say from what I saw, this was a much better E3 than last year. There's a lot more to see, a lot more to be excited about. I don't know about you guys. You guys are just sitting there.
Um,
No,
well, for me, some
I
of it
watched
was
a little
just.
bit.
Yeah, I saw some. Some of it was kind of like, oh god, not this. EA was kind of, oh no. But the one that really excited me was Bethesda. I thought that was my favorite part
Now
of
I
E3.
missed that. Now tell me about that.
Oh,
Bethesda
That's
did
not the
Fallout
corner
4.
of
4.
E3 I looked at. Oh yeah, duh.
Doom. Oh my god, Doom is going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. The multiplayer aspect
just-
they're introducing, it's what?
I don't know if Fallout 4 really counts though, because they announced that before E3.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure they did more, but I looked the other
no,
way 'cause there was so much other stuff to
announced
look
it, but
at.
They didn't tell you what it's gonna have. This is going to be. It's like Minecraft. You can build in it.
Oh really?
Yes, you can take all the scraps and stuff that you find around, and you can build your own community. And you got to guard it.
Is
from
it still single
bandits.
player though?
It's still single player. That's the thing I
Okay.
couldn't get out of it. I was hoping, I was waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, they're going to mention multiplayer. No, they're going to mention multiplayer, and they never did. So I don't know. He says there's still more to come. So who knows?
It's like, why? Why Bethesda? We all just want at least one other person. Like, nobody would be upset if
Yeah.
it was like, you could only invite one other friend in at a time. I would totally be okay with that.
But you get a dog.
Please.
You do get a dog like Fable.
Oh, yeah, but it's not a real person that I can troll and laugh with.
Or you can get your robot to follow you around. They got a robot in there. It's the original robot, the one that takes care of the dishes and feeds the kids and stuff.
Yeah, that's what we need following us around.
Yeah.
A robot in case I have dishes on my adventure.
Yeah.
Or laundry.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can get him to follow you, but I know you can definitely interact with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about Fallout last week. Something I saw, I don't know if this definitely wasn't on day one. Did you guys see the Star Wars Battlefront gameplay?
Briefly. I didn't like. Yeah.
Oh, it looks awesome. It made me really excited. I used to play the crap out of Battlefront 2 on the PS2, and I was really excited to see this game coming back. I know it's EA, and I haven't been too happy with them in recent years, but man, oh my God, Battlefront's awesome.
I hope they don't ruin it for you.
They showed 5 minutes of gameplay. They did have this awesome video where you started out like following one character, and then something happens, and then the camera just smoothly transitions into the view of a spaceship, or one of the ships flying around shooting, and then it shoots like a walker, and suddenly you're like the walker that's shooting other people, and it was just a really awesome video, but all of it was gameplay, and it looked great.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Really good job. So that is one that's going to be kind of digging into my wallet eventually, I'm afraid.
What about Kingdom Hearts 3? I know you were into the other two. Did you watch the video?
Yeah, of course. I just didn't. I'm not really. I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I'm trying not to get too excited because if I'm not mistaken, they still didn't do a release date, did they?
No, they didn't do a release date.
Of course not. They talked about it last year too.
They keep talking about it, and it's just like I can't. My heart can only take so much. And I'm like, this game looks fun. It looks gorgeous. And I'm glad what they're doing with this. And the Shadow of the Colossus aspect of it. And this, that, and the other. And it's like, oh my gosh, the riding the train. And the summons were amazing. But at the same time, it's like, I think I've waited, 10, 15 years now for the third part from the first?
Oh, wow.
I just... I can't believe you until I see it on a store shelf.
You're right. I can't stand that they still didn't even give us a release year.
And the same thing with Shadow of the Colossus. Sorry, The Last Guardian. Been waiting for that forever. Am excited, but it's like, not until I see it on store shelves will I squeal.
I never played that one.
You've lied to me too much.
No, I've never played that one myself, but I definitely.
You should. You should see if you can't go back and find copies to play.
I'm sure it's possible.
You want
Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
You want to hear something really neat too?
What?
About the Fallout 4 that you probably didn't know?
About the Fallout 4.
Okay.
If you buy the, I guess, I don't know, is it the Ultimate Edition or some kind of edition?
Oh, they're doing different editions.
You get, wait, check this out though. You get your very own Pip-Boy.
Oh, really?
You put your cell phone in it.
How much is that going to run me?
Oh, I don't know. It didn't say, but this is
hundreds of dollars. Yes.
Well, if it's just a wristband, like a plastic wristband that you put your cell phone in.
it is plastic. You put your cell phone in. It doesn't have anything actually working, but the app shows through the screen, so it looks like the Pip-Boy, and you can actually interact with it and stuff. So it's going to be interesting.
On this. Like that
it's
is
huge.
Totally inconvenient.
Yeah,
I can't wear that outside and look cool.
Collectors are just going to keep it sealed up.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to do anything with it.
No, I'm a 5-year-old. I take it out and play with it.
Go to work with it, Oh, it's my Pip-Boy.
Look. You know what? And there'd be somebody who didn't know anything about Fallout 4, and they'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I want to be able to just do the sci-fi thing with my wrist.
They don't know your cell phone's in there doing all that,
No, they probably would see that, and they'd be like, that's ingenious. I want one. Where do I get one?
You can't tell it's in there, though. It opens up, and it actually is hidden inside of this thing.
Oh, wow.
You can't. It looks just like the one in the game.
Wow.
It looks exactly like it. It's just amazing.
It's interesting.
So,
it's what? But cell phones come in so many different shapes and sizes I'm just like.
There's little spring things inside there, so no matter what size of phone you got, it'll fit just.
There's a maximum size and a minimum.
Yeah, there is. Of course, you're not going to be able to put no Note in there, Samsung Note or something like that.
But that's what I have. I have the Note 4.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's for my old eyeballs.
Yeah. What you do is you get an old cell phone, you put the app on there, and don't worry about it.
I do still have my old cell phone. The people who are trying to help us in the in-store, like when I said that phone was 6 years old, they had a look on their face like, they're not supposed to last that long.
You just got a new phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had to deal with that whole thing.
Oh my, no. So they're like, okay, well, when it comes in, you can activate it online, this, that, and the other. So go to activate online. You know, every time you get a new phone, you have to change your cell phone plan. And then it said, oh, your plan is not okay for this cell phone. So you have to call and hook it up that way. I was like,
it's always like that. You're right. It's always like, I don't care what it is. It's always like that.
Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just call in the first place, because it's like it never seems to work through the website
or on the phone. Some of them have self-activations and they never work.
Oh yeah, it booted it up and it tried to self-activate, and then there for a while it was saying the SIM card was like not in it. I'm like, but what?
But it is.
I assumed that was because my old cell phone had been on and it was still like trying to transfer. Weird errors.
Well, going back to E3, something was announced that I have to be, just by my nature, I need to be excited.
Is it going to be midnight release for you?
No, it's not like
not that excited?
It's not like that.
It has to do with Nintendo, right?
Nope.
No?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Surprise.
Well, how did you feel about the Next? The NX, the Nintendo NX. It's their next console. They announced that.
It's replacing the Wii.
Yeah, it's replacing the Wii U.
No more Wii U's. And it's not backwards compatible.
I'm not messing with you.
I was just joking.
No, that's real. No, it's real.
Which one was okay? So you're saying it's replacing the Wii U, Jemmy?
I'm just joking.
I was under the impression it was replacing the Wii U.
I'm joking.
The information I got was secondhand, so I didn't see like the actual press stuff.
I missed this. See, this is why I don't. I follow the highlights I want to see, and this is why
I know what he's going to. I know where he's going to. The big announcement for a big gaming company with a big problem, and that's sales.
No, what?
Oh, you're not talking about Xbox One allowing you to play Xbox 360 games on it?
Yes, I am, but I didn't think it was that big. You're like a big thing. It's so big. No, it's just good. It's just a good thing. It's not that big.
I think it's big. I'll get an Xbox One now.
That's what I was getting at. I would get an Xbox One now.
I wouldn't be remiss to get one, but because there's so much that is cross-platform, and the only games I seem to care about that are exclusive are on PS4, I'm in the boat. Pick one and get whatever Nintendo has, and leave it at that.
Microsoft is finally listening to its customers.
They have to, though, because
where they
of sales.
did wrong in the past, and I'm glad they're doing it because they really are a good company. For them to do what they've been doing is garbage. Now they're starting to listen to everybody. I mean, Windows 10 coming out is supposed to have everything, the features that everybody wants.
No. Now, Microsoft is the boyfriend who got dumped because he was just not trying. And then he realized how good he had it, and he's like, please, here's flowers, here's chocolates. I'm so sorry.
Well, with the last name Soft, how would you expect him to be?
God.
Wow. I'm sorry. You're just disappointing, and I can't do this anymore. I have needs.
I'm sorry, Micro. Move along.
I have to go play with the PlayStation.
Well, anyway, I was gonna say, I made such a big stink about backwards compatibility when the new consoles were announced.
And here it is.
And I'm finally seeing something positive come out of the new console era, which is someone actually listening and saying, oh, look, backwards compatibility. Now, I have to say, though, after seeing this, I started thinking back. I'm like, see, why couldn't they do this? The 360, it took a little bit, but backwards compatibility came around, and eventually you could play almost all the big Xbox games on the Xbox 360. And then I thought about it some more, and I'm like, once the new version of all those games on the Xbox came out, I never went back and played them. There's only a handful of games that I would really go back and play on the Xbox One that were on the 360. So, I mean, I know I bitch a lot about not having backwards compatibility, but it's just so rare that I would actually use it. So, I don't know. This, for me, I think it's still too late, once again, because I could have bought the Xbox One as soon as it came out, knowing it had backwards compatibility, got rid of my Xbox 360, and got the Xbox One and had a smooth transition.
Can I ask you a question, though?
What?
Is there any Xbox 360 titles you wanted to play but didn't get around to playing?
There's a small handful.
Yeah.
See,
I like this would be a good
them.
opportunity for those people in that situation.
Yeah. I don't. Sorry, Joe. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, we'll see what happened was Phil Spencer finally listened to our show when we were complaining about that.
About time.
And he went ahead and did it.
Trying so hard.
I mean,
I'm just-
seriously. I mean, who doesn't listen to our show? Come on.
I saw
you
a
don't listen to the
headline-
show.
I saw a headline that said users vote for Red Dead Redemption to be on that list of games, which is a fantastic plan. I'm surprised it didn't make it. But there's no...
What?
Well, like, I guess they're voting on games to put as backwards compatibility, and I'm like, that's the perfect candidate because it never had a sequel. It was a great success for when for its
It's
time.
from a larger company.
Yeah, it's from Rockstar. I was just like, really? That wasn't one of them by default?
A lot of people would vote that as like the greatest game of this, that, and the other list.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that
So
all
why
Xbox
isn't that
games,
on? I think they aim to kind of get that where eventually almost all the bigger titles that aren't really obscure compatible again, like they did with the 360 and the Xbox. But initially, no, it's actually pretty small of a list.
Well, all I was getting at was, even though I might not play a lot of 360 games, if I did get an Xbox One, I'm just glad it's there now. And about damn time that someone starts listening, and I hope they've learned their lesson, and I hope the next generation of consoles remembers this and adds at least one generation of backwards compatibility, like Nintendo's been doing for so long.
Yeah. Nintendo's just got to let us advertise their games.
We had GameCube, Wii U has Wii. I actually had a thought after reading this. I was thinking, I'm told that you can't play GameCube games on the Wii U, but what's weird is that there's a Wii button in the Wii U menu. And if you hit that, the screen changes to exactly what the Wii looked like, the same exact menu. I'm like, I wonder if I'm in that menu, if I could pop in a GameCube disc. I haven't tested this, but if I could pop in a GameCube disc and play that way. Probably not, though, right?
I bet you could Google it and then find a YouTube video of somebody just totally wrecking their Wii U doing that. Like that little disc going in and never coming back out.
No. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should probably look for a video for that first. But that's, I mean, it was disappointing because there's no reason why if you made the Wii backwards compatible like that, why the Wii U can't be. And one great example is I tried to go back and play the original Pikmin because Pikmin 3 was coming out, and I couldn't play any way I tried. It was impossible unless I had a GameCube. And that sucks. I mean, that's a great title that now I cannot enjoy. Because GameCubes, I mean, every year there's probably less and less of them. They were a very fragile system, and most of the GameCubes that end up being retired are retired because they broke, not because people traded them in. You know what I mean? Like, I have seen more broken GameCubes in my life than I've seen working ones. Well, that's because a friend of mine went on Craigslist and got a pile of broken GameCubes from some guy and tried to make a coffee table out of them. But that's another story entirely.
No. I need to know what was the vision with that, because that is.
Oh, that would be hilarious, though. All of a sudden, you find out you can play GameCube games on your Wii U, and so he's over there tearing them out of the the coffee table. Man, I got to get this game out because it works.
They were
now.
all broken, all of them. So what he did is he piled them up and he hosed them down because they're all kind of like from a storage unit. And the water ensured us that they were all in fact broken, so he wouldn't need to go crazy one day. And then I was just watching him do this, but he never managed to finish it. Like it just he found out he needed more GameCubes to make it as big as he wanted to make it, and it's just a big
Why
mess.
didn't he scale the project back?
I don't know. He never thought things ahead that well. It would have been a cool thing though. It would have been like a cool conversation piece. I actually, from that whole mess, I'm like, you know what would be cool is if we turned the GameCubes into clocks. So we went to Walmart and bought a couple of alarm clocks to test it out, and each of us ended up with a GameCube alarm clock that I still have in the other room right now. It's on, it's working, it's a clock. And
oh, wow.
I think because the components got a little bit mushed around, it runs a little bit fast, but you know, once in a while it needs to be refreshed. But it tells time, and
That could just be the clock you bought, though.
that's true. But we gutted the GameCube, and he like sanded down all the screw holes and stuff to get room in there, and we put the clock face in there, and then he got a piece of plexiglass and like tinted it, put it over the front so you could see the time readout, and I mean,
wow.
at first glance
That's
it just
cool.
looks like a clock, but if you go up to it, you see it's a Nintendo GameCube with a clock in it, where the controller ports would be.
How do you like hit the buttons and stuff though? Do you just take it out?
You open the lid, and we actually cut out the back of the clock and placed it in there.
Okay.
And he did most of this. He's very technical. He did most of this. I just kind of helped him like gut the thing.
Uh-huh.
And so he put it in there, and so when you open the lid, that's how you change the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was it's quite the project. I'll have to try to include a picture of it in the show notes if I remember. But yeah, so unless I can somehow hook up that GameCube to play Pikmin, I don't think I'm gonna get to enjoy that one anytime soon. But this brings us to another story that I saw. I don't know if this was announced. This was announced at E3, but the story just kind of broke, and we've been hearing about it for a little bit. But GameStop has been discussing bringing back like an old school section to their store. I'm unclear if it's like a digital download thing though. I'm pretty sure it's just like a shelf with old school games on it, if I'm envisioning it right. But some of the prices of these games have been published, and they're pretty steep.
Are they proud of these collector's items?
I would guess they are. I mean,
They're antiqued.
according to the article here, it says that there's a couple fair ones like $12.99 for Metal Gear, $6.99 for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, $34.99 for Mega Man 2 isn't ridiculous considering what it's going for on eBay. This is the Kotaku article that we'll link in the show notes. But some of the more outrageous ones would be the NES Mega Man 6, $44.99. You have Genesis Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist. That's the Sega Genesis.
These have got to be physical copies then, at those prices.
I would hope so. $49.99. One game that I actually have here, N64 Conker's Bad Fur Day, $79.99.
Games are epic though, but I don't know if it's $80 epic.
I'm just kind of proud to own that. I don't think I'll be selling it anytime soon. But
when did they get into the business of collectors things? You know?
No, they're in the business of selling used items, and they realized people interested in gaming they have a network of shipping and stuff, so they could handle this, grand scheme of things. Like you're looking for a particular item or an old school game, they can get it for you. It's down in their other store.
Yeah, I know that. I know it's used and stuff, but they're not leaving anything for the collector who collects these and then trades them or sells them, to other collectors and stuff like that. When they have these steep prices for these games, I mean, if they should be an antique shop.
I think what they're doing is taking advantage of collector mentality.
Yeah, and that's not their business. It's you know what I mean.
It is their business though.
It is their business, yeah.
Their business is selling games and selling consoles and selling, whatever. But I mean, I didn't know they were collectors. In other words, what I'm trying to say. It's
they're
like
not.
It's like a comic book store. You go into a comic book store, and a lot of the comic books that are like are expensive are there because it's the person who owns it is not a part of the store. They come in or they sell it to the store for a certain price so they can make some profit, but usually it's a collector. But if a new issue comes in of Spider-Man or something and it's reflected to be a collector's item, they're going to sell it for the face value of that comic book, and because they got however many. In other words, if a company's going to know that this is going to be a collector's item and then sells it for more than what it's actually worth, or what it is, because they see that it's going to be a collector's item someday. It's not
But
it's
that's not the case here. These are old now. These are collector's items. It's not like they're taking a new game and saying, "Hey, this is Halo 5. It's going to be worth a lot one day." So
they're not
$200
doing this to Xbox 360 games. This is like really old games that are sort of hard to find now, if you don't know where to look.
Dreamcast.
But that it's still steep.
Yeah, Dreamcast Cannon Spike for $79.99, another $80 game.
It kind of makes me sad though, because those days of finding like the really old like N64 games and then being like 69 cents and stuff are gonna be over, and like everywhere, like you're gonna see it go up on Craigslist and all this stuff to like something close to what eBay you get at GameStop.
Isn't that weird how business has gone in that direction? Like we have, usually when a competitor comes along and sells something for dirt cheap, the bigger business has to, bend to that. Otherwise, they won't sell any more of it. And in this case, it's completely opposite.
Well, because they're taking over the black market, essentially.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, we can do the black market, make it more safe and easy, and you can find what you're looking for more easily, I should say.
They probably went out and bought up all they could, and
yeah, that too. And we have more inventory, so we'll have what you're looking for. Now be prepared to fork up for it.
Yeah,
or they can get it. They'll be like, and they have the computer system and be like, okay, it's not here, but it's over in our store in Utah, so we'll ship it over here.
You know what I want to know?
But you've got to pay for it now and just wait.
I saw at E3 just an image, just an image that was on a post. I saw people playing classic game consoles at E3, like N64s and stuff, and they were playing them on these weird-looking TVs. The TVs looked new in themselves, but they were definitely weird-looking, and I'm wondering, are those TVs designed to play the game and make it look as it used to look, but actually, new TVs? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Are these brand new TVs that have a different resolution and a different way of bringing you the image so it looks like it used to?
There's no reason that we couldn't alter the resolutions and stuff with these TVs. And I mean, we have the technology.
I know.
I don't know if there's a market for that product though, like large enough.
Maybe not large enough, but I mean, there's plenty of items out there that are specialty items that aren't sold to large markets. But I think as game systems start to age and age and people...
So it'd have like 50 billion different types of ports on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good thing if a nice newer TV could play the games I'm used to playing on, but with the nice resolution they used to have. So I don't have to keep an old tube TV around. I still have one that is sitting in my parents' basement, and I'm thinking, they want to get rid of this. I don't know if I should stop them from throwing it away so fast, because that's a good TV for playing old games on. But I have nowhere to put it. It's huge. I can't hang it on a wall. I can't do anything with it. It's triple the size of any TV I have.
Why don't you see if you can't trade it for a smaller tube TV? Craigslist it.
Because I just don't want... I don't know. I could do that. Yeah, fine. I just don't want a tube TV. I'd rather it sit on my desk or on the wall as a nice flat panel, but one with a different, one with that tube
Have you
TV
tried getting like a small, like newer TV and seeing how that works with the resolution of the old consoles?
That might be an interesting prospect. I might look into that. I think what the best thing for me to do is to look on like a Reddit or something where people are playing classic games and ask them what they do. A lot of people will probably say they just save an old TV because old TVs aren't that hard to come by still. But I really want to know if there's a company out there producing TVs that look like flat screens but aren't that high resolution that we're used to now, and almost look like
I mean,
two
there isn't
TVs.
some kind of a box or something you can hook up between the console and a flat screen TV to, like make a cluster of pixels equal 1 pixel rather than each.
I think there is some stuff like that you could do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
I saw some prototype things for like the N64 to make it in like an HDMI thing or something. I don't know how well that would work. It can't be any worse than using the ports on the that it offers now.
I know.
That would be perfect. I have my N64 here still. I would love to hook it up to like a nice TV, but have it like a nice picture to boot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Unfortunately, just changing the resolution of the TV itself isn't the answer. It needs to be there's something else about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something else about it. So anyway.
Yeah, because once you change your resolution, it's going to be larger, but it's going to
still be stretched.
I don't.
What we have is stretched and pixelated at this point.
I don't have this problem, and I've been using like always a 19-inch TV, like a new like flat screen. So I think it's a scale thing. Like if you're willing to like sit up close, it's okay.
I know emulators. I mean, some emulators.
But maybe I'm just not as picky either.
I'm pretty.
I've played a game.
I know you are.
On an emulator that would show up real small on the screen at first, and then there's a setting within the emulator so you can full screen it, and it actually looks pretty decent. So I know there's obviously software ways of doing that.
You're right. I mean, it has to exist on some level. I think maybe if there's a physical card you can get for your computer that lets you hook up a game system, maybe you can run it that way.
There is. They're kind of essentially the input cards.
The capture cards.
The capture cards, yeah.
Twitch streamers use, yeah. So there's an option too. Anyway, I don't know. Just a little side note. The point is GameStop selling classic games. The last one on this list here is SNES, the Chrono Tiger. It's just Chrono Tiger for $89.99. That's the most expensive one here.
No,
it's some Japanese thing, I think.
No, that's got to be a misprint. What game is that? I'm Googling that.
Chrono Tiger, yeah, it's a game.
YouTube it too to see what it looks like.
The only one on there is Conker's Bad Fur Day for like.
What about the infamous E.T.?
Oh God.
What's that going for? I think they destroyed all those.
Excuse me. It's not. Yeah, it's not on this list. So there we go. Should we talk about our game of the week?
I'm not finding anything in the Google search about a game called Chrono Tiger. That's got to be wrong.
I'll link you
Chrono
to it.
Cross.
What do you mean? It was the biggest thing back then. That was a huge title.
No,
I was kidding.
Oh, Chrono Trigger. Sorry.
First multiplayer on Nintendo. No,
I knew it. And some fan somewhere has just had an aneurysm because of you. Because they knew exactly what you were doing too.
What did he do?
The game title was Chrono Trigger, and I knew what he was doing. Some fan just had an aneurysm.
Oh man, I'm so tired today. Man, oh man. And Lex Dixon apparently. Trigger. Chrono Trigger. Yep. Oh, man. Chrono Tiger. There's our next T-shirt.
That's part of Holler's Catholic church.
Oh my God.
Chrono
Tiger.
Well, Chrono Tiger is $89.99.
It's my favorite game.
It's about a tiger.
He travels through time.
He travels through time on a rainbow.
Is he a Time Lord?
He's a Time Lord.
He's the Time Lord Tiger.
Let's talk about our game of the week. Da 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 da. Do I have a sound effect for the game of the week?
No, you really don't.
No.
It's the tits.
There we go. Game of the week. Yeah. We talked about our game of the week last week. Fallout 4 triggered us into playing. Triggered us into playing Fallout 3, and I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have the best Fallout 3 experience that you could have.
I shamefully poop socked the pre-release of Final Fantasy 14. So.
That's understandable.
You know, I mean, I've played it before though, and it's a really great game. And when you guys were talking about the trouble you had, like I never had that though, and I played it on Windows 7 through Steam.
And I thought I did too. I thought that I was able to play this on my other computer fine, but for some strange reason, supposedly there was a patch that they did that screwed it all up or deleted a file that was necessary for whatever reason. But it took me an hour or so just to get the game to work. And once I did get far in it. I got all the way to...
You know what?
You know,
Game of the week has turned into excuse of the week.
Yes. Yes, it has.
it has, but I did. I played it. I was up all night with it once I got it going. So I got all the way to Megatron and turned down the dude to blow up Megatron with the big bomb that was there.
I played an hour.
The
And it froze.
tutorial.
Yes, exactly. I played.
The Liam
I got
Neeson
out of the vault
tutorial.
and kept freezing over and over. I already had to fix one problem with it, where it wouldn't work because I needed a CD key, so I had to download this thing, Games for Windows Live. Basically turned off Games for Windows Live. So once I did that, it worked. I was happy, and then after an hour, it kept crapping out. So I was just fed up at that point. But I mean, it was cool. What I did play, it made me intrigued. I kind of wish I didn't miss it when it first came out.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I'm about to lose my light. This cat's like,
He looks like he's strolling for trouble.
I don't want you to do this podcast anymore, so I'm going to look around and see what I can break. It's like, it's Chrono Trigger, you idiot.
It's Chrono
Thank
Trigger.
you.
I've been sent to turn off your podcast by the internet.
It's time to be shut down. You screwed that up.
So Fallout 3, I mean, I enjoyed going through the tutorial and fighting the 50s greaser known as Butch. That was fun.
Butch was fun.
I didn't let him get away with crap. I was totally respectful to all elders. And
so was I.
I was smart in every field, and I was fantastic. But when Butch came around, I turned into a savage, and I would beat him whenever I got the chance.
Now, when you took the test, you know, the what is it called? I forgot what it's called.
Goat.
The test, the goat. When you took the goat test, did you like fail miserably?
No, I did all the answers that a smart person would do, I guess.
I did all
Did
the
you
right
purposely
answers
fail?
too.
No, I didn't. Oh.
But when I went up to him, he said, "You will be a great janitor," or some bull crap, right?
No,
So then I had to go in there, and he says, "But you know, hey, I can fix it for you." And then that's when you get to choose what you need to choose.
Yeah.
But I had to actually like interact with him again. I would have walked out of there not thinking, "Wait a minute, that's all I'm going to be, a janitor?" So I started to walk away. I says, "Wait a minute."
I would have taken that. I would have been like, you know what? We're going to start this adventure.
I went back.
I am Jill the janitor.
I went back to him, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Well, I can fix that for you if you want." And then I was able to choose what I needed. So I don't know. And then Butch was behind me, and I wanted to punch him, but I was very polite.
Do you guys ever just roll where you're kind of, when you're given the choice and you're just evil or a dick, for better words?
I have a hard time doing that in games for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I tend to go that direction, but if I play it a second time, then I'll do the evil side.
That's what I do. I usually pick like one side I want to go down, and then I'll play through again and do it the other way.
I went into the original Fable with that mentality. I'm like, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be as good as I can be as I can be, and then I'm gonna go back and play evil. And I got through like the first part evil after I beat it already. I'm like, it's not enough variation. I just don't care.
No. Fable was a huge disappointment though, so it's not even really fair to use that as. No, it was a good game, but like the promises they made of things will matter and be different if you make different choices and stuff.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So play the way you want to play, earn your way to the top, and then just like tuck it away and enjoy the memory.
Tuck it away.
Well, it was interesting marrying that old lady. Was that in Fable 2? Maybe it was in Fable 2.
I think it was Fable 2. You could
Yeah.
marry. Well, Fable 2, you could marry anybody you really wanted to, honestly.
Yeah, but I married this really rich old lady, and I basically had complete like whatever I wanted in town. It was my town too. So everybody was greeting me. Hi there. Oh, nice to see you. You know?
Did you end up having kids with your cougar?
No, I never went that far. But I left her. Hey, I left her, and I still flirted with the girls and trying to. I could have got married again if I wanted. It was fun.
Monogamy's not really for that Fable character.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he can't be tied down to that old ball and chain. He's the hero of the realm.
Those are the fun parts in there. Yeah, the chicken chaser.
Chicken chaser.
Fable was fun. So yeah, Fallout, I was kind of going the good route, but I had a certain trait where if anyone was screwing with me, I wouldn't let them get away with it. So I didn't... Here's the other thing, too. As you're leaving the vault, like, the daughter of the overseer is helping you, and she's like, hey, you know, you can go out the secret passage. You gotta go, you know, you gotta hack into the office. Well, I saw the overseer kind of, like, being a dick to her, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is his office. And they instantly start attacking me, so what am I supposed to do? I kill him. And she's all upset. She's like, what are you doing? You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to kill him. You were supposed to just go out the door. And I'm like, sorry.
That's her dad, though.
Well, screw her. She told
I wonder
me.
what happened.
It was confusing. So anyway, then later I find the office. I'm like, oh, I didn't need to kill that guy. I could have just walked away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm glad I did because it goes with my character's thing. Like, he kills people who are dicks. So
wait
he's
a minute.
He's a great guy until you're a dick.
So if I was to go in and see the overseer and I was to leave him be, even if he's mad or vicious at me and just run away, do you think what's her name would still be mad at me?
She
probably not. I wonder what would happen.
Yeah, they were like almost torturing her. I don't think he would hurt his daughter though. I think that's the thing. But they were like sitting there like, oh,
then
I'm
she'd
sure
be mad at you. Why didn't you help me?
Yeah,
like
I'm sure your friends
Last
will
time
be
I
around.
killed him, you got mad at me. I think it's just
that's some Time Lord stuff.
Here we go. Have you been watching Doctor Who?
No.
Okay, then what the hell? You can't do that.
But I know you like it though. It makes you smile, so like I engage.
But you don't know enough about it to say things like that. It's like me trying to do a podcast about video games.
So I'm not allowed to make nerd jokes that I only know fringe stuff about? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed, or am I dropping it improperly?
Both.
Fine. Okay. Fine. You take your little hobby, and I don't want to hear about it ever again.
Why don't you just watch Doctor Who?
I don't care if the new Doctor is horrible.
He's not, though. It's the writing.
Oh.
The writing's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people are really disappointed. Like, they're not done with the show, but they're just disappointed right now.
It would take a lot more to make me done with that show, but yeah, definitely not their strongest work. And I think we're only talking about this because we're wrapping up the show here in a minute, but yes, it's still a gaming podcast.
That would be the next best thing, a Doctor Who game that's actually good.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how they would go about that, and because you'd have to implement time traveling, and that's got to be difficult for a game. I mean, if you do it to where there needs to be any sort of overlap in the timeline, that'd be a little bit confusing when you think about it.
You just script the game where it's kind of its own thing away from the show, but it's still the same vein of the show.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I've got Game Guru. I'm going to go for it.
And then
I do have Game Guru, by the way.
You just kind of are very careful.
Game Guru is a gaming engine. You can make games.
Don't make it open worldy, sandboxy, or at least don't make it that. Give it the illusion of that.
Well, when Dreadlow uses Game Guru to make it, I think he should make it open worldy and sandboxy. But what you need to do is make it so the game is constantly recording, and that way you can go back in time. And just the key thing is you won't be able to interact with the characters. It'll just be recordings of them.
Well, no,
that's the only way I think you can do it. If you wanted to go back and visit your guy, like you could only follow him around, but there's no interacting.
Oh wow! I don't know if I can do that with that. With that, it's very very limited on what you can do.
Challenge accepted. Hmm? Hmm?
But I can still go into different times. I just got to create those
Oh.
times.
I'm just thinking about that, like if it like recorded like your pathing and stuff. So if you went back and rewatched to watch yourself, like that data file for the save file would just grow exponentially as the game went on.
It would never stop.
It'd be on Steam. Need 35 gigabytes for the game.
Yeah, that's just for the base game, and then just keeps adding. Like you need like a 4 terabyte hard drive,
Yeah.
just so you can like keep all the recording, all the
You
data.
need a NVIDIA Titan. It won't work with anything else.
Well, I mean, there's plenty more we could talk about with E3, but we are ready to wrap up. No Man's Sky, they did another demo of that. That looked really cool, but they're going to do even more, like this other gaming convention that I think is in the UK. GamesCon? I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be getting like bigger than E3 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It's supposed to be pretty big.
Well, isn't that more like an actual like oh god. The name has left me. So PAX than it is E3, which is press.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why it's getting bigger because it's more open.
Well, yeah, there's plenty more, but we only kind of cover the things that interest us. So,
Yeah.
if you're looking for more E3 stuff, check out the show notes. We'll have links to all the things that we discussed in the episode as we do. Next week's Game of the Week, we decided will be something that is free, something we know that works, and something that won't be too hard to find some time to play. Hearthstone.
There's no excuse.
No, yeah, it won't be excuse of the week again.
Yep.
Because it can go with us.
It's
And now
on
with
your
the
phone.
new Tavern Brawl, that may make it even more interesting for you guys to play it.
What is Tavern Brawl? Because I know
It's
about
a-
the basic of the card game. I have never played it, and I've been looking for an excuse to play it. So this is perfect.
It's a new mode. Now the last week, every week it changes. It's a new mode. This one you played two of the boss fights from the adventure that you can purchase, and and you get a free pack out of it. But they're introducing more modes. Like you can in a game you're only allowed 2 of each card of whatever card you choose, up to 30 cards. They might add modes where you can have 4 of each card, which would be interesting because what people can do and how they can put their decks together. So there's different things that they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do this week. Last week it was you played as one of the bosses, and your opponent who's online played as the other boss, and it's just crazy stupid. I mean, what?
So what did you play with the boss deck, but a real person was in charge of it?
Yeah, I was in charge of it,
Oh.
but I was playing as the boss, and he was playing as the other boss, and they were fighting each other. We were using cards that aren't in. You couldn't even have these cards. These cards are like made up, and they were just crazy stuff. Like attack for 10 damage. What the hell? That's a lot of. And you start with 60 health instead of 30. I mean, it's just crazy
He
stuff.
summoned
And so-
Exodius.
so it's going to be interesting. The Tavern Brawl. I can't wait for to see what it is this week. But there's other things. Like obviously Hearthstone has a lot more aspects to it than just that. But it's the new feature that they just added. It was called the Tavern Brawl. So, but if you guys haven't played before, there's a kind of a tutorial thing you go through first. So it teaches you how to play.
I've watched intern play it through the tutorial, and I'm like, okay, that's nice, but I don't know. I still would rather play Magic the Gathering. But now I'll do it myself, and maybe I'll feel differently when it's like in my hands.
Yeah, and it's very addicting.
For the little bit I've played, every time I turn it on, I do play for a while. It is really addicting, but I always had trouble with building a deck, and I know it tries to guide you, but I'm terrible at building decks. I'm terrible. And that's the biggest part of the game. That's how they make their money, is selling cards. So it just
Can't you just earn cards though?
you can
No.
earn
You can earn them cards, but
you
can
can
buy
also buy packs of cards.
Yeah.
with real money
Well,
or
duh.
gold. You can use the gold that you earn by playing.
Oh, that's nice.
So Yeah, well, maybe I'll learn a thing or two about deck building. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I
ask
mean,
Trevor for help.
there's actually decks online that you can look at and see if you've got
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
cards for
say.
those decks, and then you
Yeah.
just insert those into your deck. And I've kind of been able to figure out certain things. Like I'll see an interesting deck online, and I'll go, okay, well, I don't have a couple of those cards, but what if I put this card in there instead? And it's always worked out, because there's always a card to replace another card. It works out good. But after a while, you get so
It
used
throws
to,
your opponents for a loop too, because they may be like, "Oh, this is this kind of deck. It's just
Like-
a clone of the popular deck," and then it's like, "No, I've swapped a few of the cards."
like on my YouTube channel, I put a video up just for fun. I basically made a warrior class, and I used all four. It basically costs 4 mana to play these cards. All of them are 4, and it's called the 4-year warrior. I didn't try to do anything special, nothing, and this thing is freaking crazy. I win a lot with it. It's like, I'm telling you, it's that easy, So anything is possible. And now
Wow.
I just made a 2-id druid, so we're gonna see how that works. That's 2, 2 count, two
Yeah.
pay, a 2 mana card.
Well,
So-
we got to wrap up, but if you want to join us in some Hearthstone, you can. I think you just search Vortac on Blizzard.net, and I'm there somewhere.
Don't they have like your name, point, some 4-pin number?
It is. It's your name and 4 numbers, and I will
Oh.
start battling it right now and just say that so anyone listening to the podcast can find us. I don't know when I'll be playing, but I'll try to be playing little bits throughout the week, and if you catch me online, I will happily duel you. I will duel you in the face.
I would like
You
to
will
at
win.
least duel somebody before the next podcast, so I go through the tutorial, play a few games, and then duel a friend. That's
Yeah.
my goal.
Hopefully, a couple of us can play it together. Worst case scenario. So
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't
best
know
case
where
scenario.
you.
Worst case scenario is
I'll
playing
just have the
strangers.
starter deck, so I know I'm gonna lose. But please, come stomp me and show me the way of Hearthstone.
I'll let us run over a couple more minutes so I can pull up the stupid pin at the end of my name. But yes,
I'll just look it up later and tweet it.
next week we'll be talking about games and stuff. Aha, Vortac #sign 1668.
Mine's Dreadlow, #1253.
I don't even know if I recommend. I can't look it up. I know I don't know my login. I know I don't.
Well, I'm going to get updating this nonsense. Thank you all so much for listening. We will see you next week with another edition of the Everything Noob podcast.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.